This is 21 grams, a space where we talk about the weight we all carry, mentally, emotionally, and in life. Last episode, I talked about being paralyzed by potential, having too many ideas, too many directions, and not choosing any of them. But this week, I want to go a step deeper because even when you do know what to do, a lot of us still don't move. And I think I figured out why. Lately, I've been noticing something. Not in a loud way, not in a everything is falling apart kind of way. Just in a quiet way where the day feels full but nothing meaningful actually moves. Wake up, check my phone, go through the motions, and by the time the day is over, you're tired, not satisfied. That's a different kind of tired. It's not physical, it's mental and it lingers, right? I've been thinking about that feeling. And the closest way I can describe it is dopamine debt. Not in a technical way, just in a real life kind of way. I'll explain what I mean by that. We all know what dopamine is, right? But in this case, when I say dopamine debt, I say it as your brain has gotten used to easy rewards, quick hits, right? Scrolling, notification, checking things, refreshing things, liking videos, watching shorts, liking pictures. You open up any of your social media accounts and you get instant dopamine. Little moments that feel like something, right? But that doesn't actually move anything forward. It doesn't help you with your projects. It doesn't help you with your day. But if you think about it, that becomes our baseline. Everything starts to feel heavier after that. Once you have to put your phone down and get back to work, get back to reality, get back to being a parent, get back to whatever it is that you do, now your brain has to think. Not because it is, right? But because your brain is used to lighter work. Your brain is used to the dopamine, the instant gratification. Think about it as snacking all day. Just small things here and there, nothing filling, nothing real, but enough to keep you from sitting down and eating an actual meal. So when it's time to eat something that actually nourishes you, you don't feel hungry. But it's not because you're full, but because you've been snacking all day. You've been getting instant gratification all day. That's what this is doing to your focus, your motivation, your ability to sit with something long enough to build it. All right. So, what's happening right now? What is it that once you realize you got the dopamine, you're getting into dopamine that why are you not moving? Let's think about it like this. You got ideas. You've got things you want to build, things you want to do, things you should be doing. And on paper, it makes sense. But when it's actually time to start and focus, you hesitate. You check your phone, you open something else, you tell yourself you'll get to it later. And later keeps moving further away. This doesn't look like a problem from the outside because you're functioning, you're working, you're handling what needs to be handled. But on the inside, you know something is not clicking. You know you're capable of more, but the gap between knowing and doing feels bigger than it should. Think about this for a second and hold this thought. You're not stuck because you don't know what to do. You're stuck because your brain is used to easier wins. You're not stuck because you don't know what to do. You're stuck because your brain is used to easier wins. But with that comes a cost. And over time, this does something to you. And it does it quietly. You start to feel behind. Even if you're doing a lot, you start to question yourself. Even if you even if nothing is technically wrong, you still question yourself. You start to feel like you're wasting time, but you can't point to exactly where. where things went wrong, where you detoured a little bit, where you left off at, because again, you're used to that dopamine, that easy reward. I like to think of the dopamine debt and everything we go through emotionally once we get addicted to those easy wins as spending money on a credit card. All day you swipe here, you tap there, nothing feels heavy in the moment. You're getting instant gratification. You see something you like, you see something shiny, you see something that you think you need, and you buy it. Instant gratification. But eventually that bill shows up, right? And everything feels expensive now because that's dopamine debt. Those small, easy moments make real effort feel heavier than it actually is. I felt this, knowing exactly what I should be doing, but still not moving on it. Not because I didn't care, but because I didn't have the time. Or at least I thought I didn't have the time. But because my brain was used to easier options, easier distractions. And once you recognize that, it changes how you see it. Changes how you see dopamine, and it changes your idea of what it is that you want. Do you want more dopamine? Do you want easier wins? Or do you actually want to focus and actually get things done? So there's always a shift. So the answer isn't motivation. It's not waiting to feel ready. It's not finding the perfect plan. It's simply lowering the noise so real work feels normal again. Think about that. Lower the noise so work feels normal again. Well, what noise? What noise are we talking about, really? The distractions. Those things that give us those instant rewards. Things like buying unnecessary things, scrolling when we should be working, watching stuff when we should be building, working on ourselves, things like that. But let's all ground it, right? Let's ground it all. And that might look like less scrolling, less checking, less constant input. Not forever, right? It's not something we want to just stop doing, but just long enough to reset what the brain expects. A few episodes back, I spoke about how our brain reacts to repetitive behavior, and our brain creates our identity based on those repetitive behaviors and actions and things that we do. All we got to do right now is less of those easy wins, less scrolling, less checking, just to reset what the brain expects, right? The simple action. Pick one thing, not everything, not everything at once, just one small thing. Let it be, all right, between 8 a.m. and noon, I won't go on social media. And sit with it longer than it feels comfortable. Because that's where the shift happens. Once you get over that hump, once it's 11 o'clock and you want to go on social media so bad, don't do it. Let it sit. This is where the shift happens. Because now you've accomplished something. You've accomplished less dopamine and more focusing. And at some point, you have to stop feeding what distracts you. I'm going to say that again. At some point, you have to stop feeding what distracts you. And you need to start building what actually matters. Because the version of you keep thinking about, well, that version isn't waiting on more information or on comfort. It's waiting on action. The version of you keep thinking about isn't waiting on comfort. It's waiting on action. Think about that. I felt it today. Today, if today felt full but nothing moved, that doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean you're behind. And I had to remind myself of that. It might just mean your brain has been trained to expect easier things, but we can change that. So tonight, you don't need to fix everything. You don't need a full plan. You just need awareness in one direction. Just one moment of choosing something real over something easy. You don't need a full plan. You just need awareness, one decision, and one moment of choosing something real over something easy. That's it for today's episode. This is 21 grams. You don't have to carry this one alone. And like always, I'll be here for the next conversation.